What's up? Welcome to your Daily Buckeye Blitz for a Sunday. It's a Sunday fun day, and it's doubly fun. Dublin? Somebody say Dublin? Happy Irish Day to you and yours. Have some green beer or some Irish whiskey on me. Here's to you. It's a little early for me to start hammering shots, but maybe later. I usually keep a bottle of Jameson around just for such an occasion once a year. But anyway, thank you for joining me. Hope you guys are having a good one. Quick programming note, no live show tonight with me and Jeff and Sean, the TBC Weekly, you might know it as. We're taking the week off. Not a lot going on this week other than the Tony Alford thing, obviously, which we're going to talk about here in a second. So no live show tonight, but hey, at least there's golf on. So I'm a golf watcher while I'm working, doing shit. But anyways, anybody watching the Players Championship? I enjoy that. With the 17 green, the island green, everybody knows what that one is. Interesting tournament so far. Big names, some big names not making it to the weekend. That was pretty funny. But I like to see guys in uncomfortable situations around the golf course. Anyway, today we're talking about Tony Alford's departure. Yes, I think we've all gotten over that. We've gotten past that. Everybody is fine with it at this point for the most part. If you're still angry, I don't know what to tell you, man. You definitely need to start drinking. But anyway, so we're moving on. Now, we need to talk about the number one aspect of being a position coach at Ohio State, and that is, how good of a recruiter are you? So Tony Alford, up and down. You could say it was a bit of a roller coaster, especially the last few years. But replacing Tony Alford as a recruiter is not going to be easy, but there are options. We'll get into those options in a bit. So after 9 years at Ohio State, long time running back coach is headed to the arch rival Cheaters up north. It caught a lot of Ohio State players and recruits off guard, obviously, caught all of us off guard as well. So with Alford's announcement, the Buckeyes need to upgrade the recruiting aspect of the running back coach immediately. That has to be priority one for Ryan Day when he's out here, taking calls, interviewing dudes. And just to jump ahead a bit, I would say there's no reason he can't have this position filled by next Friday. I think it's easy to do. Everybody's back on campus. Most teams are starting their spring practice if they haven't yet. So it should be easy to get a hold of guys, interview them, see what they want, all that shit. But as far as Alford's recruiting, it's been up and down over the years, especially recently. The Buckeyes have recruited the running back position well, but not great. Good, not great. Alford is also Ohio State's lead recruiter in the Cleveland area, Virginia, so he helps out with the DMV area there, and Florida. His main areas here in Florida are Tampa and Orlando. I wish he would have told me that. I would have met him for a beer. Anyways, beside the point. So generally, Alford's impact has been felt more than the number of major recruiting wins. He is impactful in ways that we don't necessarily see all the time, just by running backs, right? So Buckeyes have a handful of decommitments from players that he's recruited recently, so that's kind of damaged his reputation, but he's still highly respected by high school coaches around the country and parents because of the way he focuses on relationship building, similar to Larry Johnson's approach. With this NIL and transfer portal age that we're in now, some people would call Alford's approach more of an old school style, right? The relationship building versus just cutting right to the numbers and how many snaps am I going to get kind of shit. So he really digs in like Larry Johnson, works these relationships over months, doesn't happen overnight typically, and takes his time. So Ryan Day has to find a genuinely excellent recruiter to replace Alford. It's never a good time to replace a coach, but it's even more difficult when coaches all over the country are starting their spring football practice or already have started. Ryan Day's been taking calls, making calls since Alford's announcement on Wednesday. But on the bright side, keep this in mind. Ohio State's going to have plenty of quality options to replace Alford with, even with this weird spring timing. Alford was the only recruiter for running backs, so him leaving really puts everything on hold in running back recruiting world. So this is a key part of the recruiting calendar right now as we're talking. Recruits are taking unofficial visits throughout March and April. And that's another reason that the timing of Alfred's decision is a negative for the Buckeyes, because you're going to start getting some running back recruits on campus. And why would you come to campus for a visit if you don't have a running back coach to meet with, right? So currently, though, the Buckeyes have no running backs committed in the 2025 class. So, hey, that's a plus. No fear of a flip. If you don't have anybody committed, they can't flip away from you. But so the plan is to land multiple backs in this cycle, 2 or 3. We wanted 3 last class, did not get it. Thought we had 3, did not get it. So before Alford's departure, the Buckeyes were in great shape with several of the country's top running backs in state and nationally. So now those targets will want clarity on the situation as soon as they can get it, right? Nationally top ranked 4-star running back Jordan Davidson will be in Columbus with his family March 27th through April 1st. It's like a 4-day visit. He's bringing like grandparents and everything. So that's a huge recruiting visit, a 4-day visit to Ohio State. But now that trip is up in the air. Ryan Day isn't going to rush into hiring a new running back coach just because of one single recruit, but it's important to maintain that momentum that has been built up, right? So the new running back coach needs to hit the ground running with Jordan Davidson, pun intended. Davidson's is taking a wait and see approach on what happens next with the Buckeyes. He has said that his only preference is that he wants Coach Day to hire someone that he has a good relationship with. What does that mean? I don't know exactly. Is it somebody that he's texted with, a coach that he's talked to on the phone, met with, visited? So it's somewhat vague. Again, it might not, you could look at it as not being great news for the Buckeyes, but at least he's holding off, and in a holding pattern and waiting to see what happens next. Then you got 4-star Ohio running back Bo Jackson from Cleveland. He's scheduled to visit for an unofficial on March 30th. Then you got 4-star Marquise Davis, also from Cleveland. He has he's going to take a visit to Ohio State sometime within the next couple of weeks. Nothing official on the books, but again, he's coming at some point. Davis already had strong interest in Michigan, by the way, before Tony Alford's departure. Sorry, the cheaters, my bad. So then you got 3-star Virginia prospect Jeffrey Overton. He's locked in an official visit for May 31st. So no matter who gets hired, there's going to be a reacclimation period needed. That goes for Jordan Davidson, Marquise Davis, Byron Lewis, Bo Jackson, any other player that Alford recruited for the Buckeyes, right? So on the upside, the Ohio State brand is bigger than ever. Ryan Day knows that. And OSU has the money to afford any freaking contract. The days of Gene Smith saying that we will never pay a position coach $1 million are gonzo, out the window. Long gone. So Ohio State's going to hire a big name, highly respected running backs coach to take over for Alford, but replacing a 9-year position coach in the middle of spring ball isn't going to be easy regardless of who it is. running back recruiting in this cycle is going to be much harder than it needed to be. That's what she said. But hopefully the Buckeyes can make up for some lost time by getting the right guy in place. And regardless of who is hired, when they start, they could be building relationships from the ground up. So even if Ryan Day hires someone from another Power 5 school, they'll still be starting at the beginning in terms of selling the Ohio State program, you know? So the latest news I have is Stan Drayton is legitimately interested. He's currently the head coach at Temple, been there for a couple years, I don't know. They're terrible. Their program's terrible. I don't think he wants to be there. So I would say we'll see. We'll see how it goes with him. But Robert Gillespie, Alabama's running back coach, we talked about this on Friday's Buckeye Rush Hour. Gillespie is the top priority. He was retained by Kalen DeBoer at Alabama after Nick Saban's retirement. So he's number one. That's your top target for Ryan Day. Stan Drayton. Then you got Ohio State's also reached out to Dylan McCullough, Deshaun McCullough's dad. He's at Notre Dame right now, running backs coach there. And then DeMarco Murray, who's currently at his own alma mater, Oklahoma. So not sure. There's a lot of things up in the air with those two. We're not hearing any positive or negative movement there. I feel that I would rather have – oh, crap. 1 second. Oh. I would rather have Scotty Graham, the former Buckeye. I would rather have, obviously, Gillespie is number one, but Scotty Graham, I'm not so sure about Pepe Pearson. You know, we can't always default to former Buckeyes. No on Mike Hart. No on, I don't know, Tashard Choice. I don't even think we've called him. Maybe he's not even interested. So I don't know. DeMarco Murray, Dylan McCullough, those guys are secondary in my opinion. Drayton was great when he was here. He coached Zeke. And let's see. Yeah, he coached Zeke. So he's a good recruiter and developer. It seems like he might have lost a little bit of his luster. He was at Texas, at the Chicago Bears. So now not being a very good head coach probably isn't helping things. So, yeah, Gillespie's number one. We'll see if Drayton is actually number two. And so the Ohio State brand and development track record has always done a good job of recruiting itself over the years. So going forward, it's much more important to get the right guy than getting a guy right now, you know. It's been a crazy offseason for Ryan Day, but he's shown us the ability to win the next challenge. And we as Ohio State fans should be confident that Day will do that again. So that's all I got for you today. Talk to you tomorrow. Go Bucks.